Hi, I'm Melissa from Storyteller Stitchery. Welcome to my YouTube channel. I am a knitter, spinner, dyer, into needlepoint and stitching and all of that fun stuff, lots of different kind of fibre and textile arts. And this is, I forgot which episode it is. I think if we don't count Vlogmas, I'm at like episode 9. We'll go with episode 9. So I am the founder and dyer behind Storyteller Stitchery, so hand-dyed yarn, fibre, silk floss, as well as some other goodies and things like that, and all of the colorways are inspired by stories. So there's a few things I wanted to share today. Obviously we're just coming into the new year, so it's January 7th today, Tuesday, January 7th. So I hope everybody had a fantastic break over winter. If you celebrate any holidays, I hope you had a wonderful holiday time and a good New Year's, celebration. I actually got sick over New Year, and so I apologize. My voice is still pretty croaky. I lost my voice completely for like 2 days. Was it 2 or 3? I couldn't speak at all for a couple of days. So it's back, but it kind of does cut in and out a little bit. So we'll probably keep this episode a little bit shorter. But we got some exciting stuff coming to the shop in January, so I'm going to share just a few things, and then there's other things that will launch next week that I'll share next week. But yeah, so welcome. Hope you got a nice cozy cup of tea or coffee, and let's see. So I guess the thing that I'm most excited about, let's start with that. So one collection that I'm super excited about that is launching in the shop is related to the new book in the series that's coming out on January 21st from Rebecca Yarros, and it's the Onyx Storm, which is the third book in the trilogy of I don't know if it's an Empyrean series, but first book was Fourth Wing, and then the third book in the series is coming out, Onyx Storm. So I'm counting down. If you're a fantasy or a romantasy book genre lover, then this one's for you. It is a bit spicy, fair warning. If you're not into spicy books, probably won't love this series, but I wanted to do a yarn collection, a full collection, to because I want to cast on a project and kind of work on something while I'm reading the book. So I do have the book on pre-order, and it should be here hopefully really soon after the 21st. I ordered it from Barnes & Noble, but I don't know if they ship it on the 21st or if they ship it to be here on the 21st. I'm hoping it's the second one. But anyway, I put together a new collection. So let's go through and look at them all. So the fibre... Well, so let me talk about the inspiration. So I wanted to do something inspired by... I thought about doing like a full collection, and then I thought, okay, I'm just going to do something inspired by Violet Sorengail. So if you've read the books, you know who Violet Sorengail is. If you don't, she is one of the main characters in the book. She starts out the series kind of like overlooked by those around her, who kind of assume that she's a little bit fragile and not capable, and as it turns out, she's very capable. And so I don't think I'm going to give any spoilers away. Maybe I won't, in case you haven't read, in case you're like just getting started into the series, I won't give any spoilers away. But I wanted to create a collection that was inspired by her. So I wanted kind of greys and blacks of stormy skies and kind of flecks of gold for lightning. And then in the fibre, I included, some hints of violet. So the colorway is Sorengail Storm, is what I'm naming the colorway. So this one is dyed on merino. And we have some other fibre options in the shop. So yeah. And then let's look at the floss next. So the floss is 100% hand-dyed silk, and all of my collections, when they're inspired by a book, across like the yarn and the fiber and the floss, it always coordinates. So obviously like applying the color across the different mediums means it, you know, it's a little bit different, but it's the same color palette, so it's coordinated. So these are 100% silk. There's 26 yards per skein, and it is 2-ply. I do recommend not splitting the plies because silk, I mean, if you're used to using cotton, you can easily split it down to even a single kind of strand. You know, most cotton has like 6, especially the DMC has like 6 strands to one, like 6 strands plied together to make one. And so you can separate them out and use 1 or 2 or 4 or however many you want. For the silk though, because of the way it's spun, it has a tendency to almost draft apart, like as if you're spinning wool or silk, like it'll kind of drift. So it's beautiful. It has, you know, lovely shine because of the silk, but I do recommend kind of keeping it as a 2-ply when you stitch. So then let's look at the yarn. So I did put together a sock set, and so same kind of stormy skies with that hint of lightning. There's no violet in the yarn colorway. It is just the stormy, you know, with the white and the black and the grey and the gold. And so all of the yarn is dyed like this. And then with the sock set, I added the violet mini skein, and I added the gold as well. So you can use this to do coordinating heels and cuffs and toes if you're knitting socks, or if you're knitting, you know, like a shawl or a hat or something like that, you can use it as color work. So this one is 80% merino, 20% nylon. That's our Storyteller sock base. And this one is our Chronicle base, which is 100% merino, superwash, 100% superwash merino, and DK weight. And then Fable is the same in worsted weight. And we also have Adventure, which is our merino, yak, and nylon base. And so because of the yak in this one, it starts out naturally brown, which is why it looks different. It looks, you know, this one has that white still in it. That's brown in this one because of the yak. But it is, let's see if we can do a close-up. It is super soft. It's a beautiful yarn. I love this one. It's a really popular seller as well at like events and shows and things. When people get to like pick it up and feel it, it's a popular one. So I'm gonna have this in the online shop for anybody that's interested. I'm not sure how long I'm gonna keep it up. We'll kind of see, I guess, how popular it is. But yeah, I'll put the links below so you can go check that out. So the next collection launching in the shop is Mr. Tumnus colorway, which is inspired by Chronicles of Narnia. And this is really exciting actually that I'm launching this one in the shop, because this was the very first collection that I put together for Storyteller Stitchery Society. So we've been going for over a year now, which is just like mind-blowing, because, you know, I started this monthly club where, you know, every month we choose a different book, and then I do a collection themed around that book with the yarn and the fiber and the floss, and I do the option to add on tea, and I, you know, kind of choose a tea that like coordinates with the book and do a tea cocktail recipe with it, and a themed stitch marker. It's like this whole like curated collection around a book. And so I launched it you know, just over a year ago, kind of hoping that people who love books like I do would find it fun and wanted to take part. And so it's been just fantastic how many people have joined, and we have really low turnover of the club. So I know with a monthly subscription, like, and I do this as well, I'll sign up, and then kind of after a little bit, you know, if you start to get a little bit of stash built up, sometimes you want to quit and take a break for a little bit. And so I do that as well. And so when I started the club, I made it so that there's no minimum, you know, period. You can pay monthly. You can now pay for 3 months or 12 months if you want to, but you can also just pay monthly. and there's no minimum, so you could join for 1 month and then cancel if you wanted to. So I thought it would kind of, you know, to keep that option open for people, but like to see that doesn't really happen. Like there's very few people who don't stick with us. So it's just been a really wonderful year, and I love putting the collection together. It's like this, you know, fun kind of creative outlet for me every month. And then I love that, you know, I love that you guys love it. So anyway, I'm going to show you December's society kit next, but I want to show you first. One of the benefits of the society is that the colorworks are exclusive, or the collection, sorry, is exclusive for a year. And so if you're a member, when you log into the storytellerstitchery.com online shop, like I have it set up so that it recognizes that you're a member, and it opens up access to the member only store, so you can still shop like extras if you wanted to pick up extra stuff, but it's locked down to everybody who's not a member. And so we've reached the 1 year mark, and so this is the first ever society collection that launched January last year just for members, and now I get to bring it to the shop and have it as a general release. So I'll put the mood board for Mr. Tumnus up, but yeah, this is also dyed on merino, and so this is the fiber. And I do have, I'm pretty sure there's some images, like if you scroll back to last year on my Instagram, which is just Storyteller Stitchery, where some people have been spinning. I think it might even be some footage of me spinning this one, like just showing the yarn on the bobbins. So very excited to bring this in the shop. And then we have silk floss, so just the same as the last one, 26 yards per skein. And then this is the yarn, and so it has very kind of almost like chunky speckles. So I speckled this one. This is not the way that I usually speckle, but I didn't want it to have, I wanted it to be like a little bit more of a blurry kind of wintry, you know, blurred look to it. And so the way that I speckle this is different to most of my colorways, but it just gives this nice kind of chunky speckled look. And then you have the teal and the brown. So this one is Storyteller Sock Base, which is that 80 merino, 20% nylon. I did put together a sock set. And so these two minis, they're 20 grams each, so 140 grams total. And they coordinate with the speckles in the yarn. So if you wanted to do, you know, your heel, cuff, toe, or you want to do some color work in it, these two coordinate with those speckles, which is different to this teal. This teal is a different color to this one. I'm not sure if the camera picks that up. And this is the Epic base. So this is our fingering weight, 100% superwash merino, 4-ply. And then I have it on Adventure as well. And so again, this is the merino yak. So it starts out as a naturally brown color, which is why it looks that little bit different. Actually, let me move the card so you can see some of the speckles on there. Really pretty. So every month from now on, I get to release a society colorway out of the archive and put it up in the shop. So this is the first one, Mr. Tumnus, and yeah, I'm excited to get that available for everybody. So December's collection was the last one that shipped out. I'm currently working on dyeing up and kind of finishing, getting ready January's collection. So all of the collections for society start shipping on the 20th of the month, so you have it by the end of the month, and then we read the book together the following month. So for December I chose This Time Next Year by Sophie Cousens, And so this is the book that we're currently reading in our book club, which I'll drop the link to below. It's a free book club. You don't need to be a society member to join if you'd like to. So yeah, I'll drop that link below. But I wanted to choose a book that was wintry and kind of festive. And I was thinking along the lines of like, you know, Love Actually. I wanted something that was maybe a little bit rom-com, a little bit light-hearted. I knew that a lot of people would be home and kind of cozying down for the winter and celebrating holidays with family members. And so I didn't want to choose a book that, you know, had a lot of trauma to it, or like, you know, was heavy going or heavy reading, which yeah, anyway, I wanted something that felt like a cozy winter rom-com, and so that's why I chose this one. So it is set in London, and it follows Minnie and Quinn, who are kind of the two main characters in the book, who were both born on New Year's Eve in the same hospital, and it kind of like follows their lives and kind of the intertwining of their lives, and then meeting again when they're older on New Year's Eve. So this is the book. I'll put the mood board that I put together, and I create a mood board for every collection that I do. I create the imagery and the graphics to kind of capture the feel of the book, because so usually this collection I did call This Time Next Year, which is the name of the book. Usually I'll choose a name that for the collection that kind of represents like a particular theme or place or character or something about the book. It's not usually kind of general just to the overall book, but this month it was. So this is the yarn, and with it being our 12-month, our 1-year anniversary for the box, I wanted to do something a little bit different, a little bit special. So it's the first time. Usually we do a single 100-gram skein of yarn, but for the December box I wanted to do a little cute little mini bundle. And again, I was just thinking about, you know, people at home cozied in over winter for the holidays, and maybe you wanted to do like a color work, you know, hat or cowl or accessory. My voice is a little croaky, sorry. But so that was my thinking in putting together the mini bundle. So it was a lot of fun in doing this one. And then lots of speckles like that. The fiber is this. So this one, we do a different fiber base every month in the society, and so this month this year, sorry, it's all going to be like softer fibers. So we're not going to do any of the more rustic ones. Like in the shop I sell Cheviot and Southdown and others that have, like, they're wonderful to spin, and they have, like, they're great for you know, if you're going to make socks, like Cheviot or Southdown or Jacob, or like other fibers that are a little bit more hard wearing are the best ones to use. But I decided for this year, because it's a mystery kind of kit, and because you don't get to choose ahead of time, like that's not everybody's favorite, right? A lot of people really enjoy spinning like the soft yarn, the soft fiber into yarn. So that's what it's going to be. It's still going to be different breeds for you to try different fiber bases out, but it will be like softer ones. So for December it was Polwarth. Oh, that tag's upside down. So for December it was Polwarth, 100% Polwarth, which if you haven't spun it before, it's a really beautiful one. It's very soft, almost like merino, but it has a longer staple length than merino, which makes it a little bit easier to draft when you're spinning. So especially if you're a newer spinner, the longer staple lengths, they just feel a little less kind of slippery as you're drafting, and so they're a good option. So yeah, so this is the fiber, which coordinates, and then for the silk floss we have this one. And so some folks, you know, just get the yarn, some get like you know, a combination of two. Some get all three, the fiber, the floss, and the yarn. So it just depends what, you know, what your interests and hobbies are. And but I have it set up so it's customizable like that, so you can choose what it is that you want. You can choose if you want to add on the tea. Let's see, I have the tea cocktail recipe, and then if you do the fiber option, I also include a little note card with some more information about the fiber, because it changes. So I want you to kind of, if it's a new one to you, I want you to, you know, be able to have a little bit of information about like its staple length, its micron count, origins, all that good stuff. And then because we were celebrating an anniversary, 1 year anniversary in December, I included some extra gifts. So for new members, I do include a member welcome gift. But in December, everybody got a gift. And so I designed 3 different ones. And so for those that get the spinning, like the fiber box, they got this wraps per inch tool with the Storyteller Stitchery Society logo. And then for the yarn folks, I did this one. So for keeping organized with your colors. And so, you know, if you are knitting a colorwork pattern and it refers to, you know, MC for the main color, or like CC1 for contrasting color, you know, different numbers, you can kind of snip off a small piece of your yarn and add it on there, and it just helps. So when the pattern says, you know, switch to CC3, and you're like, wait a second, what was that? So yeah, yarn folks got this one. And then it's a needle minder for the floss folks. So it has a magnet, well, 2 magnets on the back. And so if you're not familiar with needle minders, you put this on the front of your stitching project, and you kind of pop the magnet on the other side of the fabric, so it holds it onto the fabric, it grips it on. And then let's see if I have I don't have a needle, but I do have a stitch marker from a previous society kit. So this is Shadow the dog from Emily Wilde's Encyclopedia of Fairies. So anyway, I'm going to show you. So what it does is it kind of magnetizes, like holds the needle on there. Let's see if it'll do it with this. So obviously that has a wooden thing hanging off it, but it grips it on there pretty strong. And so for your sewing needle, it just means that you don't have to like shove it through the fabric and kind of poke it through the fabric each time. You can just have this on your project and just stick it on there. So for the people, you know, the members that get 2 or 3, like if they get yarn, fiber and floss, they would have received all 3 of these. So whatever you subscribe to, you got the gift. And then everybody receives a stitch marker. So I pop it in a little bag with a sticker. I customize the sticker to each month to the theme. And the stitch marker looks like this. Well, I call it a stitch marker. It's a progress keeper, or, you know, a floss charm, or whatever you want to use it for. So it comes on the you know, the bulb pin. And I do that intentionally so that if you want to use it as a stitch marker, you can, but you can also pin it onto your project as a progress keeper, or if you are a stitcher, you can pin it on to your floss ring or to the zipper on your project bag, and just have a little, you know, so if you had your floss, it just, you know, it's a little charm. So it's a pie for December, and that is because in the book, Minnie has a pie business. And so I wanted to do, and also I thought, you know, December and holiday time, that'd be fun to do that one. So let's see if I can make it not wobble. There you go. What else? I also include a letter to the dyer, but I don't have that in front of me to show you guys. But it has a mood board on for the inspiration, and I kind of talk about the inspiration for the colorway, and things like that. So yeah, my voice is starting to go after this cold that I've had, so I think we'll wrap it up for this week. I'm going to be back next week and share some other fun collections that we've got launching in the shop. But I think we'll wrap it up for today. So thank you so much for watching. If you are so inclined and want to like and subscribe, I would greatly appreciate it. So you can follow along and see some of the other fun things we got coming up. And yeah, let me know in the comments. So I spent time yesterday kind of planning ahead for the next year, and I've got ideas for, you know, the next few months, but I wanted to kind of plan out a full year of books. So I've got a list of what I'm thinking of, but if you have recommendations for books that you think would be fun to create a collection around for the society, the story's important. Like so I make sure to choose books that are a good story, like we'll enjoy reading the book. So it's not just that's what makes it a little bit more like finding a book that's like a good story, but then also you know, that I want to kind of put the collection and the colorway around. So yeah, anyway, if you have stories that you recommend, books that you just think are, you know, everybody should read this book, it's a great one, then let me know in the comments. But otherwise, thank you for watching, and I will be back next week. Bye.